Okay, so Tibbs is playing Spellbreaker Warrior. This is on Frenzy. So 1vx, Strength, Discipline, and on Dagger Shield. So this is actually based on Disruption, not about mobility. The sword would aid the mobility element of that. Jun Untidi is playing Elixir X Hollow. So this is Z-Heart. So this is pretty standard on Leadership. Actually is running the lock-on build as well, Power Wrench standard. Azuz is on the Sword Shield build with Staff, I believe. This is with the Retribution Invocation. We saw him playing this one before. This is with Rune of Ice for chill duration and vitality? That's crazy. Okay. Interesting. That's still going to be like a rotational damage dealer, but it does obviously have a little bit more sustain with the pairing of the shield, okay? Magoku is, I believe, also playing the Frenzy Spellbreaker, so they have two of those, both Tibbs and Magoku. And then Milamoa is playing what is probably a rotational Power Shatter Chrono. Yeah, great sword. So we do see the sword torch as well. So using the torch for the invisibility before activating the daze. I think they're running Mantra. Yeah, so they got Mantra distraction. So they get the daze onto their target. Then they go in stealth, or they go in stealth daze and then do their standard spike. So that's on Domination, Chaos, and Chrono. So the Domination line gives them the daze benefit. Pain Yamashiro is playing what looks to be Sword Dagger Core Thief, just based on utilities. So this is on Marauders, Rune Infiltration. Oh, he's on Sword Dagger. Sorry, that looks like a pistol almost. Yeah, it's Sword Dagger. With Short Bow, which is standard rotational +1. Aeon is playing, does have Signet Mercy, so 5-round support. And this is not in pairing to anybody, but is being played as a rotational support there. Niemals is playing what looks to be the standard Sword, Staff, rotational Rev. Elderwood Boo, he wants to call me Elderwood Boner. Okay, so Elderwood Boner is playing Frenzy Spellbreaker also, so the same build as Goku and Tips. And Zintrex is playing Berserker. Now, Berserker is busted in the current meta. Arguably, there's going to be people who go, oh, well, it's not that busted. But trust me when I say that in a team fight with the Berserk going up with the Arc Divider, it is ridiculous. So we're possibly going to see Zintrex screwing a load of people over in some team fights, but we'll wait for that opportunity. I will make sure that I showcase it when it happens. However, if you are aware of it and your team is aware of it, I do believe that it's very easy to outplay. I've had a little bit of a rant about this, about these abilities, the Arc Divider. When you have 30 adrenaline, you're able to do a shit ton of damage, like 20,000 damage with it. And you can obviously reset your... so like right here, you can reset your adrenaline gain. I want to be able to talk about it when he actually gets into it. That's Arc Divider right there. Obviously, Z-Heart was able to get away from that. Follows up with another one. So they pretty much secure that kill. So you can see how easy it is to actually get that damage out for Arc Divider. The damage is somewhere between 19,000 and 21,000. I do anticipate it being nerfed pretty soon. And just as a reference, you do actually get the reset on the heal skill. I actually don't know where it is. I don't know which trait it is, so I'm going to have to find that. It wouldn't be in the strength trailer. I don't know why I checked that. Is it is it a minor one? Just like that. It's literally what the heal does. It's not a trait. Heal yourself, gain adrenaline, recharge all primal burst skills. Oh, so it's not even a trait. Oh my god, dude. So that's even more busted. I assumed that it was a trait that was in arms, and that's why people were running arms all of a sudden, but I guess it's literally just to benefit Berserker with the Signet play. Dude, that's actually fucking insane. So he gains Fury and Might and just spins to win with Arc Divider. So he gets a reset on the Primal Burst, on the Primal skills, and he gets to reset with Signet of Fury to replenish the adrenaline that he spent. And the range grows in spins. He just did 2 in very quick succession. Oh my god. That's actually more busted than I thought it was. And then, of course, after forcing the defensive cooldowns of the Hollowsmith right here, he's still able to go into Rampage afterwards. I just kind of want to see how this plays out. And obviously, this is only 16 seconds, so pretty much every single time, every 16 seconds, he can cast it twice, right? That's not like some poor observation of mine. This is actually ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, so these are the traits. Great sword. Sword shields. I'm not going to focus on this, by the way. Courage, exploitation, battle, and cleansing on Rune of the Scholar with demolishers. So I actually just want to watch this until I can see him do like some really decimating shit. Is he actually going to get one off into these groups of 3 players? There's the reset. So it is coming back up, and he's being CC'd out. So again, one of the big things that's actually beneficial for the build is the fact that it's just, well, for us anyway, is that it's very easy to shut down, and that's because it's very squishy. It doesn't have much stab up time, and you can CC it a lot. So you can actually pressure it to the point where it doesn't actually get to do this damage as long as you focus it. However, trying to encourage people to focus it in solo queue is, it's a big ask. So that's one thing why it seems pretty busted in solo queue. That said, as well, the skill in itself I don't think has a place in the current climate. I think that any skill like Bulwark Gyro on a Scrapper, for example, any skill that gives you a ton of damage for almost no real skill level, should not be in the game. And as far as I'm concerned, if you can press, a couple of buttons and then press Arc Divider and do 20,000 damage, that should not be in the game. I do think that obviously the red team are winning right now because they do have, I think, more so a meta, like a decisive meta for this map. The benefit of playing on Revenge of the Capricorn for some team comps is that there's 4 nodes, right? So you have your A point, you have your C point, you have your mid point. So ABC. The cannon, which obviously gives you points when you cap it, and it grows by 25 every single time that you cap it, you can throw like one of their warriors on it. They have the Hollowsmith, which also counts as a node sustain. They have the Revenant, which kind of counts as a node sustain because it does have the shield, and you have the double frenzy spellbreakers. So they have the equivalent of 4 duelists that can answer to this position. Now the thing is, if you throw Zintrex into these nodes as well, then he's going to be decimating anybody that goes to it. If they stack up, then they have to focus Zintrex. And if they don't focus Zintrex, because Zintrex might have, stab from Aeon, for example, or, might stacking anyway, it's definitely going to be very punishing to their entire team. So what they've actually done here is smart. They've put Tibbs onto the node, and they've forced Tibbs to answer to the 1v1. They've got the rotation back in of Z-Heart. So smart play by the red team. They focused on the other nodes and forced out. And then they've actually, they've downed Zintrex now, and they've downed Aeon. So they're leaving both those or they were going to leave them to bleed, but then here comes Pain. So now Tibbs, as a duelist, has maintained that 1v2 and actually prevented the cap of the cannon. And now that opens up Z-Heart to rotate back to mid, perhaps, or he's going to, resustain Tibbs and get the cap. And then actually over here, you have Magoku, who is answering to Elderwood Boner. So this is the Spellbreaker on Spellbreaker matchup. Here's the rotation of Z-Heart coming in on the Hollow. And arguably what the position of the Hollow here does is gets a neutral. So he might get neutral and leave. There we go. So his pressure alone, his position walking into that fight was sufficient enough to force the node away from the blue team and actually slow down the pace of the game. So now there's only one node in this, or there was only one node in the match. So what you've got now is full node neutrality. And everything is based on the team fight. So at the moment, Milamoa is dead, which means it's a 5v4. Azuz is low, and being pressured here by Niemals does go down to Niemals, and you actually see the rotation now of Elderwood Boner. Wait, I thought he was being +1. Never mind. I thought out the corner of my eye I saw something. I thought I saw Pain going up there, but I guess he changed his mind to go mid for the cap. Things happen so fucking fast in this game sometimes. So as a result of that, you can see that the blue team did gain additional points there. So they did actually get the cannon, it looks like. And they do actually come out of this on top with double node pickup. So the neutrality was forced by the rotations initially, and then they cap the cannon off the team fight. So sometimes getting momentum play off of winning a team fight can eventually give you the map control, as long as you spread out appropriately. A lot of people in like lower elo, for example, will they'll win a team fight and then they'll force the fight outside the base, for example, and they'll forget about the nodes. Your domination will come. Holy shit, they just got another bell uncontested. Wow. Okay, so that's obviously because red team overcommit. You can see there were 4 red team players on their close node. They did get Aeon down, but they forfeit the cannon, and now actually that's only going to give them a temporary lead in the map. So What we've actually got here going on is a 3v1 committal onto Azers. Wait, is that Pain disengaging up there? Yeah, so Pain is now rotating around to get Aeon. Really slippery play there by the red team, or sloppy play, I should say, and slippery play by Pain. So they ignored Aeon, allowed Aeon to get the reset. So now he's in a 2v1 against Goku. This is actually going to be really hard for Magoku to withstand, because even his block is punished by the Thief, because he can just use Last in a Strike to go straight through the Shield 5. That said, I would say that the Spellbreaker should win. Eventually. There's the Dagger Storm coming out of Pain as well. So it's just hard punishment for Magoku. But again, there we go. There's the decap. Pain's actually got what he wants. He could actually even win into this. I kind of want to see how this goes, because he's got him quite low. But he doesn't have any disengage kit. He might be waiting for Shadow Step before he re-engages. So he gets the Sword 2 engaged for the Immobilize. Gets dodge rolled. There's the steal. Lands it. Follows up with Flanking Strike. Dagger Storm reset on the steal. Very lucky. Very, very lucky. Good use of Flanking Strike. So he managed to dodge the kick there from the Rampage. Steal. There it is. Steal with a Flanking Strike. Uses the Shadow Step. Gets locked down again. Goes back in with the Sword 2. There's the passive proc. Does have Withdraw up again, so could possibly engage again. Does have Steal as well. He can win this 1v1. I want to see him do this. I actually want to see him win into Magoku. But actually, his overcommittal has actually given Magoku the node and slowed down the game for the blue team. So blue team have just picked up their close node. Alderwood Boner is on his close node, maintaining that. And Magoku is looking to come and contest that. So they're forcing like the Spellbreaker one-on-one because they want to try and neutralize the node. And obviously, that's a win condition for the red team. The cannon is coming into play. And that will be happening momentarily. So we'll be seeing somebody from red team probably coming to answer to that. Anybody that pushes it from the blue team will be adding additional pressure. Anybody who caps this right now, so if anybody in the blue team comes and caps this, the game is done. If the red team caps it, it's no big deal to the blues, so the blues will just ignore the cannon right now, and they'll focus on maintaining their points and not contesting the cannon. That's why nobody's there right now. Mathematically, it doesn't make sense for the either team to commit. They don't need to, because they had a node ownership, so they fully commit onto their close node, and they won the game that way. I mean, it's a good game. Didn't really get to see Zintrex being able to prioritize any damage or, not in any team fights anyway. I think the majority of the red team knew how to play about that damage. So, yeah, I think it doesn't really have any position or any place in high tier play. But obviously in low tier, like, or just in solo queue, in like, platinum gameplay, platinum solo queue, I think you'll see it and it will do a ton of damage and decimate. So, yeah, good shit, obviously. Okay, so this one is 4. Okay, in the red team, we have a Scrapper. Flandry's playing the retail Scrapper with no dominance with the Mortar Kit. So this is on Paladins, Rune of Leadership, Hammer, and this is on Alchemy and Inventions. So that's standard. Imda playing Scourge. So this is on probably Curse of Sorryping, yep, with Deadshot on Rune of Balthazar for the extra HP. Set the Torch Staff. Tiger is playing Firebrand Sport again, Signet Mercy, so the resustain of the team support. Going to be staying with the Scourge for the majority of the time. They're going to be contesting those together. Mighty Rogue is playing Sword Dagger Core Thief, so this is an engagement that is looking to punish again as a rotational +1. And then Sakiki is playing the Sword Staff. So this is, again, rotational +1, high burst damage to single targets, eats through Aegis, and has great capability to keep up with its opponents. So this is by use of the Death Strike, the Sword 5, and via Phase Reversal, which you just saw, which is it's basically a teleport that follows up with unblockable damage. The blue team have the Sword Dagger Core Thief again, so they have exactly the same as Mighty Rogue. Pain is actually moving out of trying to move out of combat here. That's why he went up there. He wanted to make sure that his health would regenerate. He wasn't just like randomly going up to his base. Aeon is playing is that Tempest? Yeah, so support Tempest on Menders with Rune of the Soldier. So that's pretty cool to see that back in play. We have seen a handful of these recently. Nemals is playing Staff Sword, I'm assuming. Yep, on Marauders, standard Invocation Devastation. Elderwood Boner is playing Frenzy Spellbreaker again. And Zintrex is still playing Berserker. So this is with the reset for Arc Divider. So we actually just covered that in the last match, so I'm not going to cover this too heavily. So at the moment, Red Team are ahead. Red Team did win the initial team fight. They did punish the blue team pretty heavy. There is a 5v4 currently underway. Nemals is dead. Next to the Beast, however, we might see somebody rotate in. Aeon rotates in and is going to be using the Waterfield trait, I suppose, to try and get that res. And it looks to me like the red team is struggling to cleave that out. And there is the res secured with Sakiki. Flandry trying to get the res as well with the use of the function gyro. Does get the res, but gets hard punished for it. With the CC knockdown, eats the full Herald and Shackling Wave. Dagger Storm on top with the Berserker coming out with the Arc Divider. He's trying to build up some adrenaline right now. That's why he's trying to hit people as much as possible. Arc Divider is available. Here's the spins. 25,000 damage on top of Inder. And that melts. Oh my god. With a single button press. 25,000 damage. What the fuck? Okay. Right. So, we're going to be seeing some more of that, probably. So that's possibly how the blue team managed to win that engagement. I mean, I could be, you know, chatting shit, but that looks pretty skillful. Okay, so red team are obviously going to be respawning. They're going to be trying to determine how they move out of base. So what they've done is they've done a 2v3 split. So Pain has actually commit to the blue team close node. That is Sakiki, and so that's Revenant and Thief, Core Thief, contesting into Core Thief. Arguably, that's a bad thing because you never want to. You actually don't ever want to commit two players into a rotational damage dealer. That's actually not worthwhile as far as things go. However, that has cost them actually. So this kind of actually does make sense. So Sakiki and the Thief overcommit to Pain, who was obviously like contesting the close node, and because they did that, the 3 players that pushed onto the far node actually got wiped as a 4. So even though Pain died, the blue team had a 4v3 advantage. And that in itself meant that the blue team just overcame them with numbers, maintained their node, and still came out on top of that fight. So even though Pain died, it doesn't matter. So again, 2v1ing onto a rotational damage dealer, onto a Revenant. So 2 rotational damage dealers onto a single one, and actually taking a while to kill it. You know, this is really poor play, actually. What I would have liked to have seen is quite possibly as soon as the red team realized that, you know, they were going to be in this 2v1 scenario, and they've seen that the blue team have commit hard to the fight, I would like to have seen Mighty Rogue go far. I would have liked to, you know, see him sneak in and get that decap, because he obviously has the Shortbow 5 in his arsenal to make that happen. Again, Mighty Rogue right now could be going to the close node, the blue team close, to cap that node. Because obviously it's half capped, and you know, blue team are all respawning. He would have had 10 seconds at least to finish that off. Would have been some passive point gain, and he has more than enough kit to get around the map and secure himself. So Aeon has literally just bled out. So they're going to be forced into this like staggered 4v5 because Aeon's not going to be back out for a while. Buna looks to be going down. So now they're back in this 4v5 stagger. This is where the red team are going to be coming back, by the way. This is textbook. Because Aeon is now going to rotate out and come into this like 4-man that they're doing outside their blue team base. But with the fact that Boona's not going to be back out for another 15 seconds, this implies that there's going to be sort of like this 5v4 stagnation. You can see how the blue team don't want to overcommit right now, which means that the red team are actually picking up a lot of speed here. They have the double node still. They picked up their beast, I think, so they all have their like plus 50 points. Or was that blue team that picked up a beast? Blue team picked up a beast to maintain the lead. So, okay, smart play. Berserker doing some damage here, getting hard pressure. Daggerstorm comes out of the Thief, and it looks to me like Zintrax is going to be the focus of this fight. He's in Rampage for sustainability, gets taken out. Aeon is hard pressured as well. It's the steal from the Thief there and actually goes down. So there goes their team fight damage. There goes their sustainability. And now red team are pushing this. And this is classic because what the red team did was they forced the fight on the 4v5. And we do see that the respawn of Buna does actually go straight to far to get the decap. So what he's done in turn is force Flandry to come and answer to him, or force somebody to come and answer to him. Because if he doesn't, if the red team don't answer to him, then the blue team get 3 points. So what the red team are trying to do here is like, well, we don't want the Spellbreaker to be by himself, contesting that node for nobody, and then potentially having freedom to rotate mid. We're going to send people to come and punish this guy and take the node back. So Flandry and Sakiki have commit to this to push him away from the node. Good use of terrain, by the way. So now, because Flandry is playing Scrapper, you see a really long, sustained fight here, which is actually not really I would say this is actually bad for the Warrior. The Warrior will eventually win this matchup, even though. But still, it's not preferential. It's going to take a really long time, and Flandry will be obviously ticking this node for the time being. So now it becomes this really ridiculous 4v4, and again, we see that taking place on the beach right here as the blue team come out staggered. So once more, you know, Pain is trying to move around the map. Pain's going to die for his overcommittal because you can see the Revenant, see the Scourge, see the Thief. This is a 4v2. Both these blue team members are going to die on this node for their overcommittal. Red team are now going to be picking up mid, and you can see that there's now, Zintrex capping the close node. So just from that one team fight, the blue team have actually effectively lost the game. Aeon has just swapped to Firebrand, by the way, in an attempt to possibly swing this back in the favor of the blue team. This does mean that Aeon does get an extended respawn time, but that will be just in sync with the Revenant. They also have the Spellbreaker that's going to be coming out at exactly the same time. So as I said, Spellbreaker has died from the overcommittal of the red team, and the red team are now 40 points ahead. Pain is staggered again. He has died. So red team are constantly playing this momentum because they're like, okay, look, we've killed one person. We're going to kill another person as soon as they're available. And we're going to keep this staggered. So Pain will not be out for another like 16 seconds. And Zintrex appears to be the... oh, wait, actually, never mind. He was taking Beast to keep a minute. Fair enough. I think that red team took one as well. Yeah, they did. So red team killed Svanir. Blue team took Chieftain. And now it's almost like maybe the blue team are going to wait for Pain. I don't know. But the addition of the Firebrand might actually swap this up a little bit. The blue team should try to maintain double node, and the blue team Thief needs to make sure that he focuses on the decap, which is what we're seeing right now. Look at his movements in the minimap. So Aeon being the priority lead here, so going forth into the team fight initially, baits some of the attacks, heals up and resustains it. They get onto the node just before the node has been capped, and now Aeon is distributing boons. Zintrex is trying to get in there and actually do a shitload of damage. They get the damage they need. That is huge Berserker damage on the Arc Divider. Mugiwara is going down. Flandry's gone down as well. Aeon forced to use the renewed focus to get the F skills back as well. They do see the neutrality in the mid, and now they're going to commit towards the red team Thief. They are bleeding Sakiki off node. They're not going to finish him if they can avoid it. And then they actually... The rotation of Pain does go and get the decap. So this is exactly what we wanted to see. We do see the blue team possibly going to full cap this. They trade. So you see the Spellbreaker picking up the node, and you see the Thief rotating away in priority. So the Thief wants to be able to like train on Mighty Rogue because he doesn't want to leave him alone to get decaps. So if the Thief, the red team Thief, tries to push towards Henge, this will now force a follow-up from Pain. Flandry looking to make that rotation there as well, or that pressure, and now Flandry is going to be answered to by the Firebrand. Firebrand will maintain this node into the Scrapper. The Firebrand should not lose this. As long as the Firebrand has like equal pressure, which obviously is in the form of Zintrex. Sakiki hard pressure as well. Sakiki does go down immediately to the Arc Divider spam, and we see the pressure coming out of the Revenant. The Revenant takes Flandry down as well. Signet Mercy reses Sakiki. There's the secondary Arc Divider, which takes out Mugiwara. They have no Firebrand. They punish Sakiki once more, and we see Mighty Rogue actually abusing the jumping puzzles up there in order to prevent engagement of the Revenant Nemals. Sakiki tries to get back on the node to force the stomp, actually. And that is a complete turnaround for the blue team. Textbook shit. They actually win one team fight with the rotation of the Thief to get the decap. They slow it down, and they win one team fight with the Arc Divider. That is just the F1 coming out of Zintrex. This skill is busted, and it completely kills this fucking game, but we saw it, okay? Arc Divider with a reset on the heel. Arc Divider with the reset on the heel. What the fuck? They should have just dodged it, Forehead. Yeah, dude. Why didn't they just dodge it, Forehead? Holy shit. Oh my god. That was actually like a really good game, but what the fuck? That's not a jump scare, that's hearing damage. I mean, it's not hurting my ears. Good, Raffia, good. Okay, right. Let's have a look at this, okay, dudes? Of course, these are two very high-level teams. We have the red team. They've got Frenzy Spellbreaker, so offensive side noder. They've got Esprit, who is playing the Firebrand support. They've got triple Revenant, all with the same builds, okay? Obviously, these utilities are slightly changing order, but obviously they are fixed. What we're going to see is a ton of damage onto isolated targets. So you can see that all of them went initially onto Aeon. They forced Aeon to use Renewed Focus. So they sent like the majority of their main spam into mid, the main damage spam. I believe that Zintrex ran close at the beginning as a duelist. So obviously like they didn't need him in the initial team fight. And this is actually priority. This is a great map for this team. Flandry has gone down as well. So they've got 2 players down already. The reason it's such a good map for the red team is because Legacy of Fire is one of those maps that is incredibly focused on momentum. Getting from one node to the next is like pretty simple, and you can farm players like and distribute yourselves amongst the nodes like very easily, and there's not much terrain to really battle with besides these like staircases really. So it's quite an easy map to maneuver, especially from, like, say, mid up onto, like, the cliffs. You can use Revenants rotating with Death Strike and Phase Reversal where you need to. So this is literally priority for the red team. They're not pushing the 3rd node. They know it's stupid to do so. Hence why the blue team is all stacked up rather by the 1 node they own. And they're going to push in as a 5 yet again. Or at least they're pushing in as 4. Easykeys now coming mid. So the red team are playing it smart regardless, because obviously they know that they excel as a team. There's no point in them splitting up. So whilst this team fight's underway, I'm going to quickly showcase what the blue team have. So Falco, I believe, is playing Frenzy as well. No, actually, he's running Doyak Signet, reduces incoming damage on active. That's pretty smart, actually, to run that, because he gets to use it into the triple rev. So it's a good way of, just slowing down the amount of damage that Revenants will do when he's focused. He's trying to get as many full counter procs in the middle of it as well. So is Easykey, which is, again, 2 very smart methods. Here's Signet coming out of Esprit. They get the reset on Adelanti, by the way. So it is very clever to use those full counters in the middle of the engagements. They do have a lot of CC as well. Flandry has gone down. He does follow, and Aeon has gone down as well. So, even that said, the amount of pressure that's being relieved from the Firebrand is ridiculous. And the amount of damage pressure that's coming out from these Revenants is insane as well. Sakiki is playing exactly the same build as these 3 Revenants, the standard Devastation, Invocation, Herald. Flandry, I believe, is playing Power Shatter. So this is with Staff, Scepter Shield. Oh, wait, so not playing Power Shatter, but is running Demolishers. So just getting damage out of the, I suppose, the passive Phantasms and Clones, and then utilizing the Scepter 3 for the majority of the damage. Okay, so, still has, like, pretty good dual ability with the Staff usage. Easy playing Stomp, so does have a ton of damage output. Has swapped his heal for Defiant stance, so he absorbs all incoming strikes for a period of time. So they have actually adapted their builds to answer to the Revenants. Of course, Aeon is playing the standard Firebrand, but does have renewed focus for invulnerability uptime into the revs. So obviously, this is a really hard build to play into, a really hard composition to play into. Mainly because if 3 Revenants simultaneously attack 1 target, they are not living, okay? They straight up are not living. And we're going to see the amount of damage focus that they do get. So Aeon, obviously, priority. I don't believe that Aeon has renewed focus, so this is, going to make a lot of sense for them to go on. Aeon will pump out as much healing as possible, and because they can keep up with Aeon, with Phase Reversal and with Death Strike and so on and so forth, no real amount of kiting will be available to Aeon. Aeon will struggle to find terrain that's relevant on Legacy. There's just not really that much around. That said, blue team have picked up the side nodes whilst the red team have engaged, and this is quite possibly the best thing that they could have done, because it means that they're going to stay in the fight. They're going to be relevant, and by spreading themselves out onto the side nodes, they force the Revenant team to kind of like spread out as well. And the more that they spread them out, the better chances they have of actually killing them off without the resustain of the Firebrand and so on and so forth. So as 2 Revenants rotate together to answer to Flandry, now we see that Aeon is in mid with the 2 Spellbreakers. And, Aeon's going to eat a lot of damage here, but I think that the 2 Spellbreakers could probably do quite a lot of damage to the likes of Esprit, especially with their CC output. So this is actually not bad for the blue team. Flandry has obviously died to the double rev, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the blue team won't make something happen in mid. So Adelanti is pressured, Infused Light comes out. Esprit's still alive as well. No renewed focus on Esprit, though, so they could get him down. Adelanti is down. Watch Signet Mercy. He's precasted. Nobody gets the interrupt, but they do knock the body. So actually so this is where they've actually turned this is smart play. Smart play by the blue team. So again, they've maintained their side node, the close node. E-Spirit, obviously priority focus here going forward. That was mainly with their double Spellbreaker as well on that engagement, and that was good CC coming out of Izuki that was able to enable that. Skiki has gone down. Aeon has died as well from the eventual rotation of like Niemals and so on and so forth. So, you know, the pressure has arisen. Falco is back on the far node, actually trying to, again, create this side node pressure. Zintrax is rotating towards the blue team close, so trying to slow the game down yet again with the side node, sort of strategy that the blue team are trying to apply. Aeon pushing mid by herself in order to attempt to create neutrality in mid, slow the game down even more. You know, the thing is, like, as far as things like this go, I would half expect the blue team to possibly have something like a blood res Scourge that they could then use as a method of rezzing. You know, Flandry could possibly be using Illusion of Life as well, you know, to try and pressure out or to punish the Revenants. I actually think Corrupt would be really good here as well, because obviously the Revenants have a ton of boon output. So having a Scourge, having a Corruption Scourge that's being resustained would be pretty good. I'm not sure how else you could really answer to the Revenant pressure. I know that Core Hammer Guardian is pretty fucking good actually into Revenants, because they can't get out. They physically cannot get out of the Hammer 5. Falco being found by himself, he uses the Doyak Signet to try and prevent the damage output. He doesn't really have any way of answering to this, because obviously they have unblockable attacks. Greatsword 3, Shield 5 is used. Greatsword 5 gets interrupted, or sorry, stopped by the wall, and they pick him off. So double rev is always going to do very, very well into a Spellbreaker. They don't really get enough time. The blue team don't really get enough time with the rotation speed of the Revenant in order to actually create pressure in the mid. It's quite a disgusting comp, actually, and everybody says that Revenant is busted.
Did you see that?
You got to admit that it has some of the highest single target burst in the game, right, as it stands, and its mobility is just obnoxious. You know, Phantasmal 5, sorry, Phase Traversal, Phantasmal 5, Phase Traversal, Death Strike on the 5. Obviously, you times that by 3, because then you've obviously got like 3 Revenants. They can just maneuver their way around the map as much as they like. And then, of course, they have if they make a mistake, once their Infused Light has run out, once they've, you know, spent all of their dodge rolls on the Impossible Odds. Wait, he swapped it. Riposting Shadows, obviously, you can double cast that. Plus the Staff 5, plus the Staff 3, plus the Sword 3. Then you go through, you know, your other shit. Like, if you can cycle through a lot of sustainability options as a Revenant. So you're equally as offensive as you are, like, sustainable, really. And it's when you have like 3 of those, there's not really much that can answer to that. So it's such a cheesy comp. I'd be interested to see how somebody might answer to this in the MAT, for example. I definitely think a Scourge would be useful into this comp, mainly just for the boon corruption. They have way too much might stack, as you can see. Every single Revenant that I go on has pretty much, you know, 23, 24 stack.
Whoopsie, I did an oopsie.
I'm going to have to edit that out. I'm going to actually have to edit that out. Holy fucking shit. Theo, thank you for the resub as well. Thank you for the dono. Holy fucking shit, man. Oh, as we see, the blue team have one. Oh my god. Near end, edit out, jump scare horn. For fuck's sake. 3 revs rotation. Oh my fucking god, dude. Holy fuck. Thank you so much. Thank you, both of you. But you're fucking insane, dude. All right. I'm not doing like a particular class focus this game, okay? It's just going to be a normal. Let's have a look at your follow. What? Do it. Do it, dude. Do it. All right. So, red team, they have a standard Sword Staff Rev, rotational +1. Red Levin is playing what looks to be Sword Dagger Core. Thief, that's rotational +1 as well. Floody playing Scrapper, so going to be on the side node, creating the 1vx. Probably on Paladins with Runa Sanctuary, okay. Gauntlet on the Scourge on Deadshot, so Corruption, Scourge, Souls, Sorry Ping, and Curses. And then YLF is the Firebrand, so that is the sustainability for Gauntlet for the team fight. Flandry playing Griffin Stance, Axe Axel, Warhorn, 1BX. Fucking Soul Beast. Synod on Firebrand for once, using the Bow of Truth. Sakaya on Elixir X Hollow. Rev Sucks on Sorcerer Staff. And Sakiki on Sorcerer Staff. So double rotational Rev, and then one duelist, and then team fight. And it's pretty much identical on the red team, although the red team do have less damage output but more utility. So we can see that they sent 4 and 4 mid, and then 1 to each side node. They've met in the middle, had a big team fight. Rev Sucks is down. Don't believe they got the Signet off. Nope, there was no reset there, but they did actually manage to get Gauntlet down, so they're going to be trading players. Arguably, this is better for the blue team because the blue team do still have a lot of damage output, whereas the red team have lost the majority because they lost their Scourge. So Torben actually looking to try and get the red team with the Function Gyro from Floody. Skiki using the Infused Light to bait some damage. They do get both of them down. Floody is now bleeding out, and then they're actually going to win this team fight, and they'll rotate off that. They'll probably hold the double node, actually. I don't think they're going to look to push the far node. They're pretty smart about it. Yeah, there we go. So they're going to hold their close node. They're going to like push the majority of players outside the wall. But they are actually pushing this far node. Okay. I guess arguably they can do it considering 2 players are still on respawn. One of them is still bleeding out. So at most they're going to get a 3v2. Sakaya is still overcommitting to the node. I don't know if I like that. Torben has come in and taken Sakiki out, which obviously is this is like what you would expect to happen from an overcommittal, right? So blue team overcommit to the far node. They've already lost a player from the fresh respawns of the red team. If this snowballs this way, then the red team will be able to come back and take their mid node and so on and so forth. So a lot of this is more about how the blue team are going to sustain themselves, but Synod is over here, like, answering to Gauntlet. So he's not actually there to even help Sakaya or the Revenant. So Revenant's now dead. Movements of Levin now pushing towards the blue team close, so he's getting a decap there. And, of course, we have Floody who's pushing the mid. So they're trying to force the blue team to actually spread out, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. You can see that Levin just got the decap on the blue team close. And now Flandry is sustaining into the Scrapper. So the rotation of Floody was smart. Now he's in a... they're at 2v1ing into the Soul Beast. So that's the Sword Dagger Core Thief and the Scrapper, providing tons of CC. Flandry's going to be forced to disengage here. Leaps through the smoke field to get into stealth. Actually, I don't think they got the stealth proc. Gets picked off by the Steel Follow-Up and Dagger Storm as well. So, actually dead... See, this is actually a good place for Flandry to be dead because it's going to be very hard to actually prevent Flandry from self-resing. So somebody's going to have to sit here and kill them. So you can see how the red team have actually turned this back on the blue. So blue team have since lost 3 players. They've lost mid node and they've lost the node that they overcommit to. Arguably, I think what they should have done was keep hold of Hench, keep hold of mid, and then possibly take the beast. They shouldn't have actually pushed in towards the far node at all. I think that was just like, it was overcommittal, it was cockiness, and I don't think it paid off. All right, so Sakiki is moving away from the node now. They're going to push as a 4-man towards mid, which is going to be answered to by the 5-man. Here comes like Rev Sucks to follow up as well, so they're going to push 5-5, and they're all going to like have essentially a reset. So I was talking about this earlier while I was in solo queue. A lot of the time you do see things like this happen where there's a momentum shift, and because of the overcommit of the blue team, the momentum changed, and now what this does is essentially resets the entire fight, the entire game straight back to the 5v5, and whoever wins this 5v5 will take the game momentum. One thing I will say is watch Levin, okay? Watch Levin as the fight unfolds, because if the red team starts to lose, expect Levin to disengage hard, and he will go and get a decap, and he'll slow the game down. Just watch Levin. Levin engages straight away on the sit into Synod. The Firebrand starts dagger storming on his body. They do get Synod down. I actually feel like if they can commit to 2 bodies down, then I think he'll rotate as well. Okay, Synod has been stomped out there. Levin's still committing to the Rev. Okay, so they get the Revenant down as well. He's committing to the Stomp, or was committing to the Stomp. Okay, so instead, what we had here was like the majority of the 5v5 was lost by the blue team, okay? Now, look where Flandry is. Flandry has pushed all the way back to their close node in order to defend that if anybody from the red team were to commit to the decap. Okay? So, as the realization hit that they'd lost that team fight, and you see how, like, neither of them is actually committing. So, Synod is, like, still here, jumping around, not going too far. The red team have those 2 nodes. That's it. They own that. That's fine. They're waiting for all of these players to once again come back out from respawn and push into the mid node once more. So they'll push as a 5 into this now. And that's smart. That's kind of like, that's again how you force this this momentum shift. If they actually did just run in as that 2-man, then what would happen is the blue team would they'd start staggering their respawns, and then it would just be a snowball win for the red team. No problem. So, this is smart play. Levin is behind the blue team, by the way. So is Floody. There's the follow-up to Skiki. Looking to assassinate Gornet. Holy shit, that forced a lot of cooldowns. Infused Light still up. He baits a lot of conditions onto himself. Full heals. Good stuff. One thing I will say is that Synod is not used to playing Firebrand. Synod is a Scourge main. So this is... Some people are off-roll here. Okay, so... I'm surprised that RevSucks actually didn't push into the node to try and decap that. Once more, blue team have lost the mid-fight. Surprisingly, well, actually not surprisingly, because red team have the Scourge. The corruption of the boons is just, like, way too much. I would actually say that the win condition of the red team is probably their Scourge right now. And that's, when these teams are committing to these 5v5s, it's not paying off for that reason. So both Revenants are down, Synod obviously on respawn as well. Perhaps the blue team should try a different approach and not force the 5v5. And by that, I mean, they've got a close node under contest. Flandry's there right now, picking up the full node. If they spread themselves over the 2 side nodes and forced a wider spread, they might have a better chance, considering that they have double rev. They can pressure on side nodes pretty easily. But, red team have a massive lead right now as well. And then as they force the spread, then they can rotate into other nodes and get the neutrality. So, I mean, that's their win condition, really. I don't think that they can force this 5v5. See Flandry's movements. Flandry's pushing towards the far node now, but then nobody's here to withstand the rotation there from Red Levin. So Thief showcasing the fact that it can sneak in easily. Shadow Step failed the Thief there. Now Sakaya having to answer the henge as well, and there's still a fight going on mid. So double rev and the Firebrand, so they got sustainability, but they have high power damage as well. Red Levin comes in, gets a steal onto Rev Sucks. Synod gets the Signet Mercy res, I'm assuming. Yep. And the thing is, Steel was already used into Gornet, so he wouldn't have been able to interrupt that. There we go. I think mainly that's because, that they're off main, but still. What can I say besides Scourge is a perfectly balanced class? I mean, I would struggle... Seriously? I struggle to understand how somebody that's playing Revenant makes a comment about something being perfectly balanced. Okay? It's just one of those ironic things. Don't, please. 7 hours, almost enough hours to call yourself a proper streamer. Hey, come on, dude. Come the fuck on. I do more than most people. What are my thoughts? Boobs. He replaced you with Chris? Oh, shit, okay. I didn't realize this was actually their MAT team. Interesting, okay. Very, very quickly, we got Rom, who is playing Scrapper with Battering Ram, so he just wants to knock people out the node. But he's running Knight's Amulet. Nico Rev is playing Sword Staff Rev, rotation +1. Char Big Boy is probably playing Corruption on Wanderers, I'm assuming. Probably Deadshot. Wanderers, nice. Chris playing the Firebrand, so this is the support with the Signet Mercy. And then Drazet is playing Elixir X Hollow, however, he is playing it with Prime Lightbeam. He is running Static Disc as well. Dude, I don't understand why people do this. It's weird. You don't even get, reliable damage from the Static Disc on the Potion Toss. I still don't like it. Chunzu playing Firebrand support. Atlansi playing Rev. They've done a 4-1 split, by the way. All of them. Mortis also playing Sword Staff Rev. Izuki playing, I'm assuming Stomp Warrior. which is the sustainable duelist with a ton of CC, and Thanatos is playing, I'm assuming, Corruption Scourge on Deadshot. So, I believe they just got the res there from... Wait, what? How did they actually must have just focused res that? Okay, Signet of Mercy being cast by Chris does not get interrupted. They do get it off. However, Chris is going to go down, possibly as a result. They focus him. He eats the Arcing Slice and has been left. Big Boy going to try and... I don't know why. I don't know why Teapot went that way. Teapot should not have gone that way. He should have actually followed the remainder of his team. They'd all, like, fully commit. I don't know what he thought he was going to do by, like, going this way. If anything, that just meant they could bleed him out for longer. He would have had the support of his teammates over the other side. So, 3 players of red have backed off, obviously, because they want to make sure that they secure each other. They don't want the blue team to overcommit. Blue team are going to push... well, they're going to push the defense of their mid node, but they do actually have to go and get their close node again because I think they got out-rotated. I did not get to see that straight off the bat. I don't see who did the rotation. Red team are now pushing this in without their Scourge. This is ridiculous. Why is there like a 3v4 happening here in the mid? Nico is going to die. They are so disjointed. Blue team are playing around each other. Red team aren't. Big Boy going to get picked off again. Isolated target. No Signet of Mercy. They don't have to worry about it. Nico and Big Boy gone. Rom. Oh, shit. That's my inventory. I feel like I just exposed myself. So Rom and Draze and Chris have backed off. Naturally, Chris is going to be the priority target. Obviously, they got both Revenants on him as well. And Rom and Draze looking to disengage in like stealth and so on and so forth. So Rom actually was in stealth there, which was granted to him by Draze. Now they're trying to rotate away from the blue team. You can see that Nico has gone straight to his close node to get the decap, and Teapot is waiting for his Firebrand because he doesn't want to leave base without his sustainability. However, this is going to lead to staggered gameplay because right now what you've got is Rom and Draze trying to force this fight on the far node. They're effectively going to be in a 2v3, if not 2v4, because Adelante is going to push here from the mid as well. And this is going to lead to a 5v3 scenario. Assuming that the blue team actually prioritize on this. Draze eats a ton of fucking damage. Holy shit, Adelante went through that fucking burst so fast. See you later. Example 1. Staggered, right? Now the red team have to fight a 5v4. Chris is caught out of position. Merciful intervention used. Gets CC chain. Has both Revenants on him right now as well. He's dead. He's got to be. I'm actually quite impressed that he's managed to survive as long as he has. Char Big Boy nowhere near his Firebrand, of course. I mean, he's not going to be. He gets CC'd out on top of the pillar. I said this before in an AT coverage that Teapot gets very complacent with his position up there. I've played into him on solo queue with this multiple times, and he loves that pillar. He loves standing on that pillar. And I'll just come along and I'll just rifle for him off it. And then he'll get jumped on by everybody. So what Teapot needs to be more aware of is like constantly moving and probably not like being up there until he has like access to stab. Because I mean, right there, all he did was get CC'd and focused. I mean, obviously he wants to prevent the leap of the double rev, but honestly, I would have said that him actually prioritizing his Firebrand and like being with his Firebrand, you know, pumping out conditions around him, possibly would have brought more to the fight than him being like, you know, surviving like maybe additional like 5 seconds or so, because he did die eventually anyway. Again, blue team picking up their close node. You do have like Draze here in the 1v1 against Izuki. I do think that he would win that. It does appear to be that way, actually. Izuki being forced to disengage here. That's the Dagger F1, Dagger 2 used as well. So the Scourge being forced to actually remain here as well to defend Izuki. Izuki's trying to get out of combat right now. Or is he? Nope. Draze keeps him in combat, so now Izuki is not going to be regenerating any health besides his adrenal health. And we do see that there is a fight happening in mid. This is kind of like preferable for the red team. It was a 4v4. Chris being fucked as well. Gets back in towards his Scourge now. Teapot's kind of caught out. He couldn't make the jump on the ramp. So now what if Teapot goes over to this fucking thing, I'm gonna be tilted. Don't do it, Teapot. Stay with your team. Good. So the pressure, because obviously, like, the more he stands with his team, the more he can distribute his F3, F5. So I think that's better strategic play. Both the red team have actually capped both side nodes, by the way. I believe that Drazza was instrumental in the side node capture. Nico has gone down. Signet Rev coming out. Signet Mercy coming out. Does get interrupted by the repositioning of the body. That was the Herald Elite that knocked the body back. Chris was then focused. They have the Soul Reaper Sword as well. I don't know who picked that up, but now Big Boy Teapot being forced to rotate back towards Rom. Rom is going to die for the committal to trying to support Big Boy. Or did he get away? He actually got away with his fucking Hammer 3 and the Bulwark Gyro. So the 7,000 fucking barrier that was provided to him. Medic Gyro was about to come up. He needed 0.6 seconds and he would have been alive. So blue team actually came out on top of that. I think Drazza actually disengaged away to actually contest it at Izuki. So whoever wins this is... I thought we were just going to see it. Doesn't trigger the... Nice. So Drazza is a really good player, obviously. Plays the 1v1 correctly. Wait, is he actually... Okay, I thought for a second that Izuki was on the edge of the ring. So Drazza has actually kept his team in the game by winning that 1v1. Izuki trying to self-res, forcing Drazza to come back and answer to him. Because they would have actually 2v1'd into Moritz, and that would have actually completely changed up the momentum of the game. So smart kind of decision-making there by Izuki. Drazza is now going to rotate into this. Actually still going to push in and +1 into Mortis, and they're going to create a 2v1 into a Revenant. I don't like that. I think that Mortis is out of position right now, and he's actually going to die for his overcommittal. Or at least they're going to get neutrality. Drazza can quite easily win this, because he's going to be watching Mortis for his use of Infused Light. He's staying ahead of him as well, actually, which is smart. He's making sure that he makes... that his priority movements are actually... He's going to be in front of Mortis the entire way. There's the Infused Light usage. Actually, wait, it was on cooldown for 12 seconds? Holy shit. So actually, that's really good because Izuki's going to be on respawn. He's now on the far node. This is now a 5v4 advantage for the red team. So this is actually an opportunity for the red team to come back from this. Chunzu eating Prime Light Beam from Drazza. They're actually corrupting him as well. They get the corruption around the Firebrand. They drop the gas. Wait, that's not Gassy Breach. That's F5. Similar looking animations. Atlanti trying to use terrain here to prevent engagement. They prioritize the Scourge as well, so they've got the majority team fight down as well. So that's a double pickup for the red team because they're going to get the 2 kills bleeding out, and they're also going to get the node, I think. Apart from the fact that I think Atlanti is contesting the node. So he does go down as well. The red team will be picking up their side node here, and they'll have the double node. So now they have to be careful about this rotation in. So you can see that the blue team are pushing both their warrior and their revenant towards the mid. Chris is here to actually answer to that, which is great. So it means that it's not going to be going for free. And we do still see one bleeding, which is Atlanti. So this is opportunity for the red team to equalize here. So obviously they're still at a 30-point deficit. That's not too bad. They're trying to hang around the one node that they do own. The red team are making a conscious effort not to overcommit, okay? And the blue team actually trying a 2-2 split. You see that? So Izuki and Mortis are pushing up the right-hand side. And then you have... the other side is Chunzu and Thanatos, so the Firebrand and Scourge. Izuki has gone down in this engagement. They did actually push a 3-man into that. So Izuki being finished by the Function Gyro, which means Rom is going to get that decap. And now the red team are going to be in the benefit because they have the double node and the neutrality. So this is actually perfect. They're going to take a lead here. Red team need to try and maintain this as as good as possible. They are in a 4v4. But I think Rom is going to be forced into answering to Izuki as he pushes out of base, which we're seeing right now on the minimap. Chunzu gets pulled in by the CC there of Chris. I think he's going to get pushed out. Yeah, he does. They don't have anything to answer this with. Ghastly Breach was placed on top of Chris as well. Blue team did get a decap in mid, though. Doesn't really mean anything. Char Big Boy has gone down. Look at that focus res. Holy shit. That he just fucking went so fast. He was like fucking Jesus on fucking Easter Sunday, dude. Holy fuck. Like, he did rise, okay? I probably could have made, like, a prepubescent boner joke, but probably inappropriate. So, okay, Mortis makes the rotation towards blue team close, trying to, like, slow down the pace of the game. There's 60 points in it now, or 63. We do actually see Izuki having an answer to Drazza once again. Sorry, Rom, even. Rom. So, Izuki's trying to stay ahead of Rom here. He won't actually be able to get the decap. I think Rom's going to get on node before he even gets 3 ticks. He gets 3 ticks, but is still answered to by the Scrapper. Scrapper might have to move off, gets the CC out. Disrupting stab to interrupt, follows up with the shield 4, misses the shield 4. Gets the interrupt with the full counter. Stab up time. So Izuki should win into this. It is his preferable matchup. Meanwhile, there is a 4v4 taking place. Nico has gone down. Chris trying to get the res. Chris overcommits, gets answered to by the Scourge. I think that was the Corruption and Revenant damage of the Shackling Wave. Teapot by himself again. You see, I think, honestly, that if Teapot had been next to Chris, the barrier output that he currently has on himself, which would have been from his F5, might have actually been very beneficial when keeping Chris alive. He also obviously has his F4 up, so again, like, Teapot has to play around his Firebrand more often, in my opinion. He's leaving him to like isolate himself way too often. And right, this is another turn. So blue team have their close node. They have the midpoint pickup. Shinzu's actually capping that right now. Unless Drazah is going to possibly kill into Moritz, and then that could lead to something. Holy shit. So Teapot actually got him downstate before he died, but Mortis hadn't actually hit Teapot, so it didn't count for anything. That sucks. Usage of Elixir S to try and secure the Stomp does not pay off for Drazah. He's now forced into a 1v2, trying to pull them back towards their base. There's the Fear. That was from the Mark, the unblockable Mark from Thanatos, and he'll be left to bleed out there. So, honestly, with Drazah being dead right now, this is game. There is nothing that the red team will be able to do here, I think. I stand corrected. I stand corrected. Shunzu unable to even turn this into something. He doesn't have Signet. So that's two... Holy shit, dude. How does that happen? Like, Drazah literally forced 3 players over here to answer to him. And they actually... They come out on top. That's not the way. That's not how you do it. That's not how that works. I mean, you know, red team really want to win this, obviously. They have a single node pickup. They have Nico Rev, who's currently holding the node. Somebody else needs to get on this node. It's about to go neutral. Thanatos is down. 1 kill. Thanatos gets the win. Holy shit, that was a close game, dudes. That was a close fucking game. Lots of comebacks. Blue team almost had that, actually. I mean, honestly, I would put a lot of that on the synergy between the Scourge and the Firebrand. Like, the one thing that you can take from that is literally that Teapot needs to play around Chris more, or Chris needs to play around Teapot more. They're obviously disjointed, and it would be very beneficial to them both to defend each other, because obviously the barrier is huge from F5, the barrier is huge from like the F3, and he gets more boons and shit when he hangs around Chris. So that's the one thing that they noticeably did differently. But GG nonetheless. I had a lot of fun watching that one. That was very close. Lots of back and forth. That's literally not my interest. Okay, let's go through this. Torben, standard Rev, Sword Staff, Blackjack, Firebrand support, Signet Mercy. Punching Bag is playing again Corruption. This is actually on Deadshot. Deadshot. Red Levin. So Levin is somebody who's just returned. They are playing Sword Dagger Core Thief. Apparently they're from the old rank 55. Kind of cool. And then Zintrex is playing the Frenzy Spellbreaker. Standard offensive. They have actually, blue team have actually chosen not to send somebody close, by the way. They've gone straight away and sent Rom far. So now there's a 1v1 taking place. Blue team are not gaining anything out of this besides winning the mid-fight. So they put all their eggs in one basket there, and they actually came out on top. They punished the Firebrand and the Scourge. So they've actually come out on top with a... they're able to leave Chris here to get the full cap. And I think that Teapot's going to rotate and try to grab their close node as well. And the fact that Rom is on the far node actually pulled red team members away. So they might actually get a neutrality here with the addition of Nico. However, they're going to get 3v2'd right now. 4v2'd, so Nico needs to get the fuck out before he dies. Never mind. Nico was not aware of that rotation. Okay, so as I was saying, Chris is playing Firebrand support. BX Land is Drazah. That is, he's running standard holo, I guess. Like he's running the Prime Light Beam with static disc, actually, so he's not running the Power Wrench build. Chubby Boys, Corruption, Scourge, standard teamfight damage. Nico playing the Sword Staff Rev, and Rom is on Battering Ram Scrapper. So he gets an additional knockback, but it's basically Knight's Amulet with a ton of sustain. So what he wants is to eventually push Zintrex out of the node here. He'll wait till Zintrex doesn't have any stab sources or knockback sources. By doing that, and one tick at a time, he will take this node back from Zintrex. So the main team fight is the focus, I would say, here. Teapot has gone down. Signet Mercy not available. Prime Light Beam goes through his body to try and actually gain something. Drazah is going to get hard fucked here. He overheated, actually, and he will die. So he's kind of forcing himself to bleed there with burns. burns and bleeds. Gets himself down on the floor. Nico has died as well. So now this is like a complete momentum reset because you've got Torben and Red Levin who are going to be creating pressure across the map. So you can see them rotating together. Good play. Both of them collectively are going to push Chris off node and they're going to get a decap. Now, watch the rotation of Teapot right now. He might come into this like isolated. So if Torben and Red Levin are smart, they might focus on Teapot, force out some cooldowns. He forces the barrier out immediately. Now, Teapot is going to be sitting around Chris. Smart. They are going to get 3v2 now if they are not careful. They are very much so isolated. Considering Nico Rev is down and Draz is down, this is going to be a 4v3. See the push? Rom is isolated as well. So now they found their own target, which is Blackjack. Blackjack should not really be priority in this. However, they do have a lot of CC and corruption, so they could actually make good use of this. Blackjack does not run Renewed Focus. He does run the Stability Elite mantra of Liberation, I want to say. And that might have actually been why they focus him pretty hard, because he doesn't have an immunity choice. He doesn't have something as an immediate I win button. That said, the red team are actually playing the rotation game better than the blues. So this is going to be really interesting when it comes to things like stillness and tranquility. So I half expect the red team to rotate to stillness immediately. Blue team looking to have to maintain their mid node, so they have the Scourge here for the red team as well with the Firebrand. Firebrand is actually going to have to fucking unload everything. Zintrax actually died on his fucking close node. Gets actually... Holy shit. So Rom, Drazhet and Rom collectively just killed a Spellbreaker and pushed away a Revenant. Stillness still in play. Holy shit. So, okay, this is opportunity for the blue team to make a comeback because Rom and Drazhet just made a massive play where they won a 2v2. And the funny thing that is about that is that Rom doesn't do any damage. Okay, Rom doesn't do any damage with this bullshit. He does nothing with this. So I'm like, how did this even happen? How did they even maintain that node? Drazhet is picking up stillness or attempting to, being interrupted by Zintrax. He'll either win the 1v1 or he'll force Zintrax away from the node. Maybe watch the Rifle 4, see if he gets it. He's actually just going to try and kill him. Rampage forces the Elixir S. Red team have lost the team fight. They're having to abuse terrain here, so they're giving priority to the blues. However, this does actually give an opportune attack onto Mighty Teapot. So that was a drop-in. Jade wins from Torben. Torben's running with Torment right now. He does go down. Rom's going to try and get the stomp here. They do get the Signet of Mercy res from Blackjack. Infused Light is used. Char Big Boy does get punished and does go down. They do collectively res him, and now they focus on Nico Rev. He does not have anything left. He does not have access. He's just used Infused Light. Blackjack eating the Shackling Wave, although it doesn't really matter. Nico engaging on the 1v1 against the Scourge to try and push him off of capping the node. Red team have picked up 2 side nodes. However, one just got decapped by RNG Rob, and the home node is now ticking with stillness. If Blackjack and Punching Bag can cap the mid with stillness uptime, that's going to be double node tick. They are going to gain about 60, 70 points off of this in terms of distance. Boon spread coming out from Chris. So the one thing that is very beneficial to the blue team with their choice of team fight location is that they can't be jumped to by things like Revenant. So Torben struggling to actually engage on that fight without fully committing to the damage that's coming out of Teapot. They focus on Blackjack. They once again get him down. The next target is going to be the Scourge. Again, you see the one thing that's very consistent here that we didn't see from Mighty Teapot in the last game and Chris. They are when one of them dies, the other one dies around them, right? Because they're kind of like till death do us part. You know what I mean? Although that's not really applicable because if Blackjack dies first, then whatever. But he's trying to bring pressure with his shade placement and his use of Garish Pillar and barrier output to resustain his Firebrand where possible. So you guys have to work as a team, and that's why that's a thing. That's one thing that Chris and Big Boy weren't doing. So hopefully. Okay, he eats the steal, I think. Actually, did Levin actually land the steal? So I think Teapot just fully gave up on that. Blackjack's going to cap that possibly with Aegis up. Doesn't have any Aegis. Getting hard focused by the Revenant. Gets corrupted. This is bad. You see how, like, the blue team is, like, they're very cutthroat in who they're focusing and why they're focusing them. And it's obvious. Like, literally, Blackjack's elite is fucking him right now. His elite choice is fucking him. Right now, we actually see Zintrix in a 1v1 against Rom. He has won the 1v1 into Rom. And now Zintrix is going to be able to cap the downstairs. No, he's not, because Chris is here to answer this, and that's going to equate to nothing. However, I do believe that Draze is picking this up right now, so blue team will be getting double stillness. Double point gain from stillness. Nobody on the node actually has any points right now, though, so it doesn't actually matter. Zintrix still engaging against Chris. They've replaced Chris with a Revenant, I believe. Yep, so Nico is now here to answer to this. I would expect Zintrix to win into this matchup. Rom is here now. And now they're trading. Okay, so that's pretty standard. Blue team, again, they've capped one node, so they're going to be gaining access from stillness. So what this does is, by Zintrix being here in a 1v1, this is duelist on duelist, this is how you're meant to play things like this, like objectives. And then when you can actually allocate somebody else, you create a +1. Now, the longer that Nico Rev is here, the worse it's going to be for the blue team. Okay, so he is effectively forcing a 3v4 for the remainder of the Reds. So Zintrix actually goes down, gets Rampage, going to be trying to create some distance. Nico's going to be able to keep up with him. Death Strike. Oh, the kite ability. Staff. Wait, shield 5. Wait, Nico went in with the phase reversal, got unblockable attack. Zintrix did get his shield stance off. And, of course, now this means that blue team will be getting all 3 nodes because nobody else... Never mind! Red Levin is more than fucking aware of that. Good fucking mobility by Red Levin, the thief, and they come and get the interrupt on stillness. Now... Nikorev will be prioritized here in this engagement downstairs. Draza is down as well for the blue team at the base of the stairs. So that in itself is hard punishing. Oh, wait, shit. Wrong staircase. I was like this, and I assumed that he was downstairs. So Chris actually going for that res right now. Immediate knockback from Draza. Holy shit. So they get the res. That's really important by Chris. Red Levin, again, great map awareness to actually respond to that immediately. However, that's not going to go in the favor of the blue team now. With Draza being dead, that was very important. With Nico being dead as well. RNG Rom coming in with the fucking function gyro rev and the full team reset. But red team have picked up every node in this instance. And one thing again to note is stillness is up and nobody from blue team is here to answer to it. So this means we're going to be getting 4 points a second for the red team. And Red Levin, once again, getting on the node to answer to Draza. So his awareness is spot on. He's moved straight to the node. He gets to trade with Zintrix. And now red team are going to be maintaining double node. Dude, Red Levin is fucking popping, okay? I haven't seen this guy play, but his fucking map awareness is spot on. Holy shit. He is actually keeping the red team in the lead here. Holy fuck. Is that real? I don't know, dude. People are saying he's come back, dude. That's really fucking cool. And his presence there on the node is actually preventing blue team from getting a cap. So he's stopping them from passive point gain, even momentarily. Blackjack and Scourge have gone down yet again, side by side, as previously mentioned. Levin has rotated out to go on +1 into Rom, so they're going to try and maintain at least one node. And Zintrix has won the 1v1 into Draze. So we actually see the red team will be maintaining one node at least, even if they throw this far node. Torben maintaining node once more with Infused Light. Both he and Red Levin are actually trading skills here. So, as you can see, Red Levin is going to be using Sword 2 to disengage as soon as he thinks he's going to get hit. Go straight back in to Rom as soon as, Torben has to move off node. This is smart tactics of trading defensive cooldowns in order to maintain node. Now, Blackjack is here to resustain as well. So, this force is a 3v2. Rom's going to go for the res. Chris is here as well with the Signet res. Are they going to get the stomp? They do get the Signet res. And now it's a 3v3, but this still belongs to the red team. And the red team are just stacking up. This is really, really smart play. I fucking love this. Draza had made his way back towards the close node, answered to by Zintrix. Now you do see Punching Bag here as well, answering to that. So that's Arangor. They're going to maintain that node ownership. If they keep one node, this is going to be perfectly fine. They have 1 minute. 1 minute on stillness. So the stillness play is going to be really important as well. Red Levin's rotation towards mid actually completely cuts off any passive point gain for the blue team. Draza is about to drop as well, although he is disengaging with Zintrix in pursuit, although I think they've left him. Rom now rotates into mid to try and create something. Now, watch blue team. I think what they might try and do is they're going to push towards the red team close. They're going to try and get the decap. And wait, Levin... Instra-fucking mental. Dude. This dude is like fucking... He's on fire, man. Holy shit. So Red Levin making that rotation now creates a Thief 1v1 into Chris, and Torben could actually have, created something there as well. Red team did actually get the decap they wanted, and, blue team did get the decap they needed to bring this back into the favor of the blue team. Stillness coming up now, right? And Tranquility. Zintrex already down here looking to get the cap. Holy shit, unanswered too. This is going to bring all 3 nodes back to the red team, and they're going to look after one, and they're going to win the game. And they get Stillness. Holy shit, Levin gets it as well. Wait. He actually cancelled it. He doesn't give a shit. So Levin actually made the decision not to go for the Stillness because he knew for a fact that with the node pickup, it didn't matter. They just had to maintain it. Holy shit, dude. Holy shit. Dude, Red Levin. Whoever the fuck this person is. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. I thought he cancelled the channel. Maybe he might have interrupted it. Like, he might have been interrupted, but it seemed like it was a choice that he made. Did he get interrupted? I didn't see anything hit him. I didn't see anything hit his body. I thought he cancelled the channel because they got all 3 nodes. Whatever, dude. Whatever. He's still, still at the end. Hey, thank you very much for the 100 biddies, dude. Thank you.
Thanks for cast.
I swear you've got that shit in a fucking... You must have that in a notepad or something, dude. Like, you literally sound exactly the same thing after every game. But thank you so much, dude. Thank you for the biddies. And I hope you guys enjoyed that game. That game was fucking fantastic as far as I'm concerned. Fuck me, dude. Like, that's some next level carry. And you see, the funny thing is that Red Team didn't even really get that many kills. Look at that timeline, dude. Red Team did nothing but just out-rotate them. All this proves is that Blue Team are better at killing people. And the Red Team just out-rotated. Right place, right time, picking up Stillness, Tranquility, making it all count, dude. Huge. Absolutely fucking huge. Huge game.